Hey guys, this is Jabroni, and today we're going to my alt account, Jaflava, to show you some very unique attacks that I tried in February CWL. Alright, so I don't know about you guys, but I've been finding it very difficult to get 3 stars in CWL, more so than I had, say, like months and months and months ago. And so what I was looking for here was some kind of way to get 3 stars, and I decided to be very creative when I had noticed on this base 2 different ways that I could exploit it. One of which was the position of the town hall. You can see here it's near an edge, and there aren't too many storages or collectors that would prevent a Sneaky Goblin steal of the town hall. And what I mean by that is Sneaky Goblins that can get the town hall with 1 invisibility spell. You'll see there was an elixir collector here, there was a gold storage, and there was an elixir collector over here, and then there was also a dark elixir drill, but further away that wasn't going to be a problem. The other thing I noticed on this base was that the queen was positioned, the enemy queen was positioned very close to the scatter shot. And so what I decided to do was to use some Sneaky Goblins and 7 lightning spells and a quake. Now what I did is I went to a website, Zap-Quaker.netlify.app. I am not the owner of this app at all, this website, but what it does is it allows you to see how many lightnings and quakes you would need to take out different structures, including the enemy queen, including, just about anything. And so using this, I was able to see that to get 1 scatter shot, I could use 7 lightnings and a quake. To get the enemy queen, you can see 7 lightnings will do it. Whereas to get the enemy royal champion, you would need 8 lightnings. When you use 7 lightning and a quake, you're not going to have a lot of spells left over. This is why a LaLo attack can be quite ideal, because balloons don't really need that much support. They're just sometimes going to need a haste, sometimes needing a freeze, especially if there's a multi-inferno. You'll see I brought a stone slammer, and I brought inside of the stone slammer 4 balloons and a dragon rider. The reason why I went with a dragon rider is because the base I was hitting had 2 multi-target infernos, and I knew, once I explained the plan, you'll see this, that the stone slammer was going to get close to one of those multi-infernos. So the dragon rider has a lot more health, a lot more hit points, and so it can survive through a multi-inferno. So that's why I chose that for my clan castle troops. So here was the plan. 7 lightning and a quake can take down the enemy queen and the scatter shot, especially since there was not any builder hut nearby the scatter shot to repair it, which would make the whole lightning quake thing a lot trickier to execute. After I take down the queen and the scatter shot, from there I can start using my Sneaky Goblins. I start by taking down this collector, also this elixir collector over here, and then eventually later on I was going to use 3 Sneaky Goblins to take down the gold storage. Now I also had to use a wall breaker to punch in through this wall. I didn't want the wall breaker to go further to the right, which would then possibly make my Sneaky Goblins go to this elixir collector over here. So this is why I punched in the super wall breaker at that location in blue. And then 1 invisibility spell can protect the Sneaky Goblins to stay alive long enough to get the town hall. From my understanding, you only need 6 Sneaky Goblins to take down the town hall. I normally like to bring like 1 more just in case, but you also need to bring 1 or 2 or 3 more Sneaky Goblins to use as test Sneaky Goblins, because you never know when there's going to be giant bombs or small bombs or possibly even spring traps or a tornado trap that could prevent the Sneaky Goblins from taking down the town hall. I also used 2 balloons to take down this mortar to help with the funneling to force my king and my queen to get to this scattershot compartment. And here's why I chose to do this. I wanted this scattershot to be down. Obviously, that's a main target. The other scattershot's going down by the lightning, but I also had to watch out for the clan castle troops. So bringing my heroes into this location with an ice golem for support and obviously another super wall breaker can then make sure that those key objectives, the scattershot, the enemy clan castle troops, and the one and only expo that was pointing up to the air, all those targets could go down from my king and my queen, and again with the support of the ice golem. Now, the other targets that you have to worry about with a LaLo attack, of course, is the enemy Royal Champion. So to take care of her, I was going to decide to bring my LaLo part of the attack in this direction with the Warden behind. So they were going to target into this area, into here, to take down the single target Inferno, the air defense, and then using the Warden's ability, I could use 2 Headhunters to take down the enemy Royal Champion. I also, I think, if I remember correctly, used a haste in this area because there was an air sweeper which was able to point towards this direction, so that could have been a little bit problematic for my balloons. So I think I did use a haste spell in that area. Having a multi-target Inferno here was going to be a problem for my balloons, so I definitely wanted to use a free spell there, and then eventually some other free spells for the other multi-target Inferno up in the middle. What about the Eagle Artillery? Well, I knew that with the mortar being up here and a cannon being here, I needed to cut those out to allow my Stone Slammer to come in this direction and to force the Stone Slammer to path to that Eagle Artillery. So all I had to do is once I brought a Lava Hound to this air defense, I used 1 balloon on the mortar up there and then 2 balloons on the cannon down there. And then my Stone Slammer was able to go and get the Eagle Artillery. And then once the balloons were down at the south and started to path towards these Expos, and like I said, freezing the multi-Inferno, then my Stone Slammer could hopefully make it into the multi-target Inferno in the middle. Now, I think, unfortunately, it did path up towards this cannon first and then made it into the middle. But still, that would accomplish the goal of taking out the middle Inferno. The only other section I had to take care of was the north. Now, remember, the Scattershot and the Queen were down. This mortar was down from the 2 balloons I used on it earlier. I wasn't sure if this cannon was going to go down for my Queen. I think it ended up going down, if I remember correctly. But what about the Archer Tower and the other air defense? So what I did is I used my Royal Champion to path in towards them, eventually take out the Wizard Tower, and then to head towards the middle to join up with the Stone Slammer and any balloons that were still alive to take out the middle. The enemy king was far enough away that I wasn't too worried about the Royal Champion engaging the enemy king. All right, so the lightnings come down. Here's the Quake, a little off-center, so that way we can get the air defense softened up a little. 2 balloons take down the mortar up there to help with funneling. I start bringing my Sneaky Goblins to take down the elixir collectors, and the wall breaker comes in to open up the wall. At this point, I bring my king. Now, I didn't bring the ice golem right away. I wanted to make sure the ice golem went more to the center towards the 1 cannon to protect, and then the super wall breaker opens up that compartment. At this point, I do bring 3 more Sneaky Goblins to take down the gold storage. And then I'm waiting here for the enemy clan castle troops to come out before I put my poison down. I was expecting a Lava Hound. That did not happen. It ended up being a bunch of witches with the balloon. Not that big of a deal as long as I get my poison at the right location. You can see the Sneaky Goblins came in. I did bring some test Sneaky Goblins first. You definitely have to practice this attack with putting the Invisibility Spell at the correct place. Lava Hound comes in with the balloons that I mentioned, taking out the cannon and the mortar. Stone Slammer comes in. My Warden ability is used, along with the Headhunter deployment to take down the enemy Royal Champion. My Royal Champion comes up from the north to take down the air defense and the Archer Tower. I freeze the multi-Inferno to try to protect my balloons. And then at this point, I had a couple more freezes left. I wanted to freeze the Expo along with the Inferno, but I screwed up here on my first time. Second time, I do think I get them both. But at this point, the Expo's almost down. A bunch of traps come up. My Stone Slammer opens up. Not a big deal. I still have the Dragon Rider to help taking down the rest of the defenses. Now, I didn't know there was going to be a Tesla farm to the southwest, but not that big of a deal. My Royal Champion's still up. The Dragon Rider's still up, so those defenses are gone. I failed to talk about this in my plan, but I did have to bring minions at a couple different places to help with the cleanup behind the LaLo and behind the Royal Champion and behind the Stone Slammer. So all those minions start to converge. The enemy Barb King is up, but not a big deal. The minions and the pups take it down along with the Royal Champion at the end. And there you go. That ended up being a 3-star. All right. Then I found this space in another round of the CWL. And what this one allowed me to do was to use some lightning without a quake on the Royal Champion. If you recall, 8 lightning are needed to take down a Royal Champion, which might surprise you that it takes 7 to take out a Queen, but 8 to take out the Royal Champion. And the advantage here, unfortunately, it wasn't next to a Scattershot or the Eagle, but it was next to a Multi-Inferno in the middle. And what I found is that a lot of base designs will have a huge amount of traps around a centralized Multi-Inferno. Lots of red air bombs and black seeking air mines. So taking out the middle Inferno and the air sweeper along with that Royal Champion, that's pretty good value for lightnings to take care of. And then you can see here the Town Hall is again near an edge. There aren't any storages at all, which is kind of nice, but there were a bunch of gold mine collectors and dark elixir drills. So the Sneaky Goblins could take down 1, 2 dark elixir drills there, and then at least 1, 2, possibly 3 gold mines to the left. I wasn't sure about this gold mine here. I think I did bring an extra Sneaky Goblin just in case. Now, the super wall breaker would just have to take out a wall section here, and then eventually I could use the remaining Sneaky Goblins to take down the Town Hall. Again, you always got to bring a couple extra to be test Sneaky Goblins in case there's any small bombs or giant bombs or spring traps or a tornado trap. Now, the right side here was going to be funneled out, and then I could bring my heroes to target the Scattershot and hopefully get the enemy Queen, hopefully jumping over the walls. My king could take the enemy Queen out. Now, I did use a couple more Sneaky Goblins to take out this gold storage here for funneling purposes to make sure that my heroes would go into the Scattershot compartment down here at the bottom. And once my Ice Golem was tanking this Archer Tower, I was able to use 1 balloon to take down the mortar while that Archer Tower was distracted on my Ice Golem. I would need 1 more super wall breaker to punch into this compartment. Now, I also wanted to make sure I took down the Multi-Inferno and hopefully also the air sweeper in this location. Of course, my heroes would also, and also the Sneaky Goblins, would possibly also lure out the enemy CC troops. So to make sure I got the Multi-Inferno down, I decided on this attack to bring my Royal Champion to join with the Barb King and the Queen to take out all of these structures in this area along with the Multi-Inferno and the air sweeper. And then once all those things were taken down, I decided that with the air defense being here and the Scattershot being in this location, I would bring my Lava Hound and my Stone Slammer into this area. I did use 1 free spell on the Scattershot so it didn't take down the Lava Hound too early, and then my Stone Slammer was able to take out the defensive structures, including the Scattershot in that area. You'll notice again, 2 of the Expos were set to ground. There was 1 Expo over here on the right that my heroes would never obviously get to, so I can deal with 1 Expo pointing up to the air to make a LaLoon still successful. The other Lava Hound I would use, obviously, on the air defense over here, and then I would bring in a bunch of balloons with my Warden over towards the Eagle Artillery. You want to take the Eagle out early enough so that it's not targeting too many of your balloons. And then with the other Inferno that would be remaining, remember the one here in the middle is taken out along with the Royal Champion, then I would only have 1 more Inferno left over, and it's a single target, which is not a big deal for a LaLoon attack. However, there is a Wizard Tower nearby, so using 1 free spell on that Wizard Tower helps to protect your balloons, because otherwise, if a whole bunch of balloons clump up, then, you know, a wizard tower can really take down a whole clump at one time. And so on the second attack, I didn't need any headhunters since my heroes are going to take down the enemy queen, and the lightnings would take out the royal champion. So no headhunters were needed this time. So I did bring more minions this time. And you'll notice I did not bring a quake. I needed 8 lightning to take out the royal champion. 8 lightning is more than enough to take down the Inferno tower. So no quake was needed whatsoever. And since the one multi-inferno is going down from the lightning, the other multi-inferno was going down from the heroes, I didn't need a dragon rider this time to be in my stone slammer, so I brought 9 balloons. If I would have had a clan mage who had rocket balloons unlocked, I probably would have opted for them instead of regular balloons, but I think at the time nobody had rocket balloons that I knew of unlocked. Maybe I was wrong, I don't remember, but that's why I went with regular balloons here on this attack. All right, so I'm going to warn you, spoiler alert, there are some fails and almost a near miss. So starting off here, I'm waiting for the royal champion to get into the position near the Inferno and the air sweeper. So I'm patiently waiting before I put my lightnings down. And right about now, boom. So I put my lightnings down. Somehow the royal champion survives. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what in the world? But she's almost at all her health gone. So whatever, you just got to continue with the attack. So Sneaky Goblins come in, taking down those collectors. I also put a couple more Sneaky Goblins there on the left for the gold storage. Wall breaker opens up the compartment to the town hall. One more Sneaky Goblin I did put for that one gold mine. Other super wall breaker comes down. Heroes are down. The ice golem is tanking for the archer tower, so that way I can use 1 balloon on the mortar. I used some test Sneaky Goblins. You can see there was a tornado trap right in front of the town hall. At this point, I did bring my royal champion to join with the king and the queen. Sneaky Goblins come in, along with the invisibility spell. Town hall goes down. Now, here's where it starts to get a little dicey. Super minions come out and a bunch of headhunters. Ugh. So poison, a little hard to know where to put the poison. My royal champion is starting to die. Fortunately, her last throw of the spear, that was a bit lucky, does take down the multi-inferno. So on with the next phase of the attack. Lava Hound comes in, Stone Slammer, we freeze. The scatter shot, it's about to go down. The other Lava Hound is about to come in with the other balloons. I did use a haste up there to kind of cut out that part to help the rest of the balloons to travel where I wanted them to travel. Minions are coming down behind as well for cleanup, as you can see. Now, remaining balloons come over here on this cannon, so that way they'll get the archer tower and the wizard tower. One thing I forgot to mention, I did freeze the royal champion, and fortunately my lava pups took her out while she was frozen. She didn't have much health left, so that's the way I dealt with the remaining health of the enemy royal champion. At this point, I have no spells left, but it's not a big deal. A single target inferno is not a big problem. Only 1 air defense remained. So the rest of this, I just kind of, let's fast forward here to see the rest of the cleanup in action. It's pretty much done. Minions and pups and balloons take down the remaining structures. And once again, we have a 3-star. So guys, I hope this video was helpful. Even if you're not a LaLo attacker, maybe the Sneaky Goblin Town Hall Steel is something you could use. Maybe the lightnings on a queen and scattershot, or a royal champion and an inferno. Maybe that's something that you could use even with some other kind of attack, whether it's dragons or some kind of ground attack. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.